Hi guys! Welcome to our YouTube channel, Just Be, because just being yourself is enough. I'm Etienne.
And I'm Domingo, and in this channel we are here to support you to whoever you want to be.
Today in our newest segment of be good. Today in our newest segment of Free to Feel, we're gonna talk about the big elephant in the room in 2020, COVID-19.
The novel coronavirus 2019.
And since we've been cooped up all those months, we had a lot of time to reflect.
A lot. A lot. Did I say a lot?
We could even reflect on like the patterns that we have on our ceilings. We reflect on a lot of things.
So there was not a lot of boredom.
No.
It's a lot of reflection.
Yeah, we had this was the moment where we had our best conversation, and it made us reflect. What was like one of the main things that made you reflect since COVID happened about like your life and your existence and your place on earth?
That I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch, and I'm okay with it.
Drama. Why do you say that?
You know, really, defining bitchy or bitch or being one is a female dog, right? Like they just sit around and no, I'm just joking. But no, being a bitch it's really being selfish to me. And you can define what bitchy or bitchiness means to you, but to me it's being selfish. It's putting yourself first without any compromising. You're dealing with your own so that you don't have to deal with other people's shit. And if that makes you a bitch, you know what? Then so be it.
And can I say that it would make you like strong and independent at the same time?
Well, you have no choice, but because you are putting yourself first. And this is what I always believed when I got into meditation a few years ago. The biggest epiphany that I had was the path through selflessness is through selfishness. But to me, selfishness was about going deeper within myself. But now,
yeah, it's not about money. It's about finding your own self.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that's myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, finding deeper meaning within myself. But now that has developed into something that what am I gonna do when my environment calls for me to say no and they're not okay with it? So I'm just gonna stick to my guts and say, you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Drama.
And to me, that defines being a bitch, which is really sad because it's not supposed to be that way.
Well, because some people say that word is being in total control of yourself.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you just don't put up with others people's shenanigans anymore.
Yeah.
Because when you think that you have all your life in front of you, and you're like, oh, I can put up with this. I can put up with this.
No, you shouldn't.
And now you're just like, we could die at any moment, or life could be destroyed.
And it changes.
Life
changes at any second, and you really don't have time to sit there and feel sorry for other people because the things that they're expecting you to do, you didn't do it, but you didn't really have a clear vision on what that was. Especially when you're like, oh, you should have like read between the lines. Sorry about that. You should have like, oh, that's like social responsibility or etiquette, and like,
you just said the F word.
makes me a bitch.
What a mean person. I like it. But it's just about perception. And you realize probably that your perception of yourself ends up being bigger than the perception of what other people want you to be. And you just don't waste time. You just focus on what needs to get done. You get it done. And if you get a reward out of it, good. And if you don't, move on to the next.
You know when people tell you, oh, you should know your worth, it's like, oh, that's a loaded question. But when you really start figuring it out, what your worth is, you'd be like, I know my worth. I ain't doing what you're wanting to do.
Yeah, but that's weird because that's a question that people think that you already know the answer, but this is something you've never been taught in school or ever.
And it's a constant evolution. And how do you figure it out? How do you figure it out what your worth is?
You stop. You need to stop and say like,
what am I actually good at?
What makes me me?
Yeah.
What makes me good at things? What makes me special from all the other people? And when you're a child or a teenager or even like up to 25 years old, there's a lot of moments where you're like, what do I have that the others don't? What makes me set myself apart from the others? And it's super complicated. And this is something that I realized that like people were asking me at university, what are your criterias? What defines you? And I realized in my mind that we have all the qualities in the world, but they're all scaled from 0 to 100%. So you have this quality, but sometimes this quality, like honesty, you would have
strength and weaknesses.
Strength and weaknesses.
Or what we said was your weaker your strength and your weaker strength.
Yeah, and sometimes you would say like, oh, for example, honesty. My honesty level would be at 76% and his honesty level would be at 86%. So that already makes us different. It sets us apart, but at least we both have it. So it's easy for us to connect.
I'm pretty honest. What are you talking about?
It's just an example. I don't know. I'm not in your head. I don't know if you say exactly everything that comes through your head and you say it with the right.
That's why you
right.
talk. Yeah. But I think it needs to be highlighted what he just said there, where what do you have now? Becoming present on what it is that is not only going to make you happy now, but you're not thinking about who is this person that I want to become. There's so many movies out there. It's like, is this the man that you want to become? It's like, no, bitch, it's the man that I am.
Take it or leave it.
Or,
I'm already awesome.
And it's like, oh, I'm gonna, quit smoking when?
No.
I'm gonna be happy when? It's like, what's stopping you from doing it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard. And again, it evolves. So it can be you're feeling today. It doesn't necessarily have to be tomorrow.
Being the devil's advocate, I have one question.
Yeah.
What differentiates you from being a bitch
This is a good
or
one.
being a Karen?
Well, let's just describe what Karen is or who Karen is. Karen is the one that is privileged and complains all the time. And being a bitch is something that is very disliked. And the reason why I like saying, I'm a bitch, because I think it's funny. I think there's no truth to it. But a lot of people correlate being selfish to being bitchy. Then that's that. Really, there's a very big discrepancy between both.
So
don't be a Karen. Don't be this privileged person that complains all the time and always thinks that you're better than everyone. Because maybe you are, but you know what? Nobody gives a shit about if you're better than me. And if you have to voice that out, how better are you really?
I need to brush my hair on this one.
Like if you have to say that, oh, I'm better than this, like, yeah, just do it. Don't say it.
Action.
And you're like going into this, like all these things that you see, it's like this Karen going into a fast food restaurant. I'm better than you. I have more money than you. It's like, why do you have to do that? Why do you have to say that?
Good for you.
If you are, then good for you.
And there's something that we need to remember, that what you are is not supposed to attack what other people are.
Oh,
and
this is a big one.
And I used to say all the time, I am amazing. When we met, I used to say like, hey, don't you know who I am? I'm Etienne, I'm amazing. Just get it into your head. But he was not threatened by it at all, but all my other friends were threatened by it. They were like, if Etienne says that he's amazing, it means that I am garbage next to him. And I'm like, you interpreted that, girl. I never said it. Me, I'm in the wonderful world of amazingness, and if you want to be part of my crew of amazingness, you're more than welcome to come.
Or it's the other way around. If he wants to be part of their crew, that they're amazing, then it goes both ways.
Show up.
Exactly. And it's interesting that when you have done so much work for yourself and you're so proud and present yourself in, you know, the world, and you show up because that's what you're taught and this is what you're learning. You show up for yourself. You've done some work with yourself. You've healed and you're now confident. And all of a sudden you bump to your first person and says, oh, then you probably think I'm shitty because you probably think that I'm not that great or not awesome because you're taking that space of awesomeness, and you're just sit back and say, you know what? My awesomeness, nothing to do with your awesomeness. We can be awesome together, or you can accept your defeat that you're not, or you haven't done work for yourself. Most of the times what we do is we then say, oh my God, no, I wasn't meaning to say that. No, just say, well, you could be awesome too.
Yeah.
And just move on from the conversation.
Don't ask for forgiveness ever. Will uplift people instead of like, oh, well, yeah, I know I'm awesome and you're
And
not.
that's their job. There's a saying that calls for confident people are always hated because when they're surrounded by non-confident people, it's really the demons of those non-confident people that are waking up, that see that they can be that person, but for some reason they just can't be because they haven't done work within themselves.
And that's not on you.
That's not your problem.
So at the end of the day, it's what we learned from COVID, and I hope that you've learned some stuff too. And whatever you've learned, just please put it in the comment section down below. Click the like button, and do not forget to subscribe for any more stories that we have to tell you. It's been Etienne
And Domingo, and always remember to just
be.